So in the last video, we saw how we can use a while loop to repeat some piece of code many times. So if I wanted to calculate the grade of my students, I would write those 10 lines of code that would calculate the grade of one student and wrap it in a while loop that runs 20 times. So we were using the count variable, the control variable, as a variable to count how many times the statements were happening. Another use case is printing a range of values. Let's say you want to print the numbers from 1 to 5. So if I want to print the numbers from 1 to 5, if I had to do the code myself, I would have something like this: system.out.println 1, and then basically I would have to copy this line of code 5 times and then just change this variable, right? So this code will print the numbers from 1 to 5 for me. Now, if I told you print the numbers from 1 to 100, you would have to copy and paste that 100 times and change the numbers. We don't want to do that. Programming is supposed to make our life easier, and computers are supposed to make our life easier. So what we want to do, we look at these statements, and the only thing that's changing is the number that is being printed. So let's ask ourselves, what is the first number that I want to print? Well, the first number I want to print is 1. So let's create a variable and set it to 1. Okay. When do I want to stop? I want to stop when this number reaches 5. So I want to stop when this variable count reaches 5. That means I want to do my printing as long as count is less than or equal to 5. So as long as this count variable that's starting at 1 is less than or equal to 5, I want to do my printing. Okay, so what is it that you want to do? You want to print. So you want to print that variable count that's going to change. So now instead of saying print 1, print 2, print 3, and so on, I'm going to say print count, and count is going to change from 1 all the way to 5. Okay, I printed count. What is it that I want to do after I print count? I want to print count plus 1. So after printing 1, I want to print 2. So what do I need to do to the 1 to get it to be 2? I want to add 1 to it. So I'll say count plus plus. So here my control variable is starting with 1. It's going to continue until it reaches 5, including 5, because there's an equal, and it's going to go in increments of 1. Now, what if I told you I want you to print the numbers from 2 to 10, but I only want the even numbers? Okay, well, I'll ask myself, what is the first number I want to print? The first number I want to print is 2. Okay, when do you want to stop? I want to stop when I reach 10. So as long as count is less than or equal to 10, I'm going to continue. What is it that you want to do? I want to print that variable. So count, let's print count. Okay, you've printed 2. What's the next number you want to print? It's 4. How do you get from 2 to 4? I add 2. So I'll say count plus equal 2. Remember, this is the same as saying count is equal to count plus 2. I'm updating count by adding 2 to it. You can do it like this, or some people like leaving spaces. It's up to you. Both will work. So let's test it out and see if we get the numbers from 2 to 10 even. And we do. Okay, so this is how you do printing ranges. How about if I want to print the numbers, print 10 down to 0 even? Okay, well, what is the first number I want to print? The first number I want to print is 10. When do I want to stop? I want to stop when count reaches 0. Now here, because I'm going down, 10, my starting number, is greater than 0. So as long as my count is greater than or equal to 0, I'm going to continue. So when it's 10, yes, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, yes, -2, no. So here, when you're going backwards, remember the sign is going to get switched. Okay, what is it that you want to do? I want to print out count. Okay, now you've printed count, which is 10. What's the next number you want to do? It's 8. How do you get from 10 to 8? I subtract 2. So now it's going to be count minus equal 2. when I should run it, I should see 10 down to 0 backwards. So this is how you can print a range of values using a while loop.